Lesson 3 for January 9 to 15, ready for teaching on January 16, When Your World is Falling Apart, and read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Friday, January 15. From the book Desire of Ages, page 19, we read, His name shall be called Emmanuel, God with us. The light of the knowledge of the glory of God is seen in the face of Jesus Christ. From the days of eternity, the Lord Jesus Christ was one with the Father. He was the image of God, the image of his greatness and majesty, the outshining of his glory. It was to manifest this glory that he came to our world. To this sin-darkened earth he came to reveal the light of God's love, to be God with us. Therefore it was prophesied of him, His name shall be called Emmanuel. End of quote. And from Prophets and Kings, page 329. Well would it have been for the kingdom of Judah had Ahaz received this message as from heaven, but, choosing to lean on the arm of flesh, he sought help from the heathen. In desperation he sent word to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Assyria and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. 2 Kings 16:7. The request was accompanied by a rich present from the king's treasure and from the temple storehouse. End of quote. And that brings us to our 3 discussion questions for this week. 1. When you are in the process of making a decision, is it appropriate to ask God for a sign? What dangers are possibly inherent in doing something like that? 2. It is good to have human assistance, but how do you recognize its limits? 3. Russian author Leo Tolstoy wrote to a friend that once a man has realized that death is the end of everything, then there is nothing worse than life either. How does our knowledge that God is with us answer such a statement? And to summarize this week's lesson, God brought faithless King Ahaz to circumstances in which he had to make a difficult decision, to believe or not to believe. This is the question. Even though the Lord offered him any sign that his imagination could devise, he refused to allow God to demonstrate a reason why he should believe. Instead, he chose as his friend the king of Assyria. Inside Story. Our mission story this week is titled Floating Red Book, and it's by Andrew McChesney of Adventist Mission. Taroni Kumar Tripura was thrilled to receive a Bible with a beautiful red cover in his remote village in southeast Bangladesh. The Bible arrived as a reward for completing a series of Bible lessons by mail. But Taroni had to be careful. His father served as a priest in the family's traditional religion, and he would not be pleased that his son had a Bible about the God of heaven. Taroni, however, wasn't worried. He had studied the Bible lessons every night while his parents slept, and he also intended to read the Red Bible at night. The plan seemed to work. Taroni tended father's cows during the day, and after returning home at night, waited until his parents were asleep to eagerly switch on a tiny flashlight and read about God. One night, father caught Taroni reading the Bible. He was furious. After his son left the house the next day, he seized the Red Bible and threw it into the muddy waters of the 𝐾𝐞𝐬𝐸 River. Taroni was distraught when he realized that his Red Bible was missing. He quickly understood what had happened. What could he do? He couldn't afford to buy another Bible. The correspondence school probably wouldn't send him a second Bible. But he longed to read more about God. Some time passed. One afternoon, Taroni was swimming in the 𝐾𝐞𝐬𝐸 River when he saw something floating on the water. He had seen plastic bottles and other garbage in the river, but this looked different. He swam closer. Reaching out, he grabbed the object with his hand and hastily swam to shore. Climbing onto the riverbank, he raised his hand to see a dripping red Bible. He couldn't believe it. It was his missing Bible. Taroni placed the book on the grass in the hot sun to dry. It took 14 days to dry the Bible, and then he began to read it again. As he read, he fell in love with God. Even though he risked angering his father, he couldn't keep the newfound love to himself. He told other villagers about the God of the Red Bible that wouldn't sink in the river. The astounding villagers asked to know more. Today, most of the villagers, including many of Tyrone's relatives, worship the God of the Red Bible.
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent-band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.